Good morning. My name is Ralph Boyd. I'm the president and CEO of SUM, So Others Might Eat. SUM is a nonprofit affordable housing, healthcare, and human services provider here in the district. And I'm delighted to be able to say that we operate in every single one of the district's 8 wards. Now, one of the reasons we're able to do that is because the mayor and our senior staff have challenged us to do that. And even better, not only have they challenged us to do that, they've supported us in meeting that challenge. And they've done that because they've engaged every single one of the relevant agencies and instrumentalities of government to help us be able to do that. Now, SUM's mission is easy and succinctly stated, and it's this: it's our job to save lives, to improve lives, and to transform the lives of vulnerable people, families, and communities here in the district. Now, in order to do that, we have to be able to provide sanctuary. That is a threshold level of peace and security, tranquility, security, and safety. And in doing that, we have to engage with our partners both in government and in the community. And so for that reason, among so many other reasons, I'm delighted to be able to be here today to introduce the mayor to talk about her most recent collaborative initiative, the DC Launch CameraConnect campaign, so that we can provide that peace and tranquility that's necessary for us to be successful as residents, workers, visitors, and learners here in the District of Columbia. So without further ado, it's my pleasure and privilege to introduce the Mayor of the District of Columbia, the Honorable Muriel Bowser.
Thank
Mayor?
you, Ralph. Here I am.
Oh, there you are. Wow. Snuck up on me.
Well, good morning, everybody. Please give Ralph another round of applause. You've heard me say many times the government can do a lot, but we can do even more with great support in the community, especially effective nonprofits that work across all 8 wards in helping DC residents get their fair shot in Washington, D.C. I'm pleased to be here with the Metropolitan Police Department and Chief Pamela Smith. Let's hear it for MPD. And we are also delighted to be joined by law enforcement officials that work in the district and surround the district in the Metropolitan Washington region. So please give all of our law enforcement officials a big round of applause. I want to thank them for their hard work. They show up every single day to fight crime and to keep our city safe. And they're a huge part of why we are seeing decreases in crime, including a 28% reduction in homicides, more than 30% reduction in assaults with dangerous weapons, and year over year, a 22% reduction in total violent crime. So let's give all of our law enforcement officials a big round of applause, as well as all of the community members, nonprofit organizations that are working out there to keep us safe. But we all know it's not time to take our foot off of the gas, because every crime is one crime too many. And so from idea to implementation, this center has been in the works for several months. Chief Smith brought this idea to me early in her tenure about how we work smart and how we upgrade MPD's technology. We announced the Real-Time Crime Center in December and started to build out this facility in short order. Chief Smith has already been assigning people to the Real-Time Crime Center, so it is in fact been up and running. And she will share shortly some examples about how this collaboration in this space is helping to drive down and fight crime. Deputy Mayor Apia, who I want to acknowledge, who is here, who is our Deputy Mayor for Public Safety and Justice. Her job is to make sure the chief has what she needs. And that is not only with resources, but with planning and support. I also want to acknowledge our council member for Ward 2 and the chair of the council's Committee on Public Safety and Justice, Brooke Pinto. It's also her job to make sure the chief has what she needs, and she's doing a very good job of it. And so, as you know, I have delivered my fiscal 2025 budget to the council last week, and it makes significant investments in public safety. The budget fully funds MPD's requested hiring level to achieve for the first time in 5 years a net gain of new officers. That means we will be able to hire and retain more officers than who are leaving or retiring. It adds $8.7 million to fund 40 new community safety officers and hire civilians to free up 50 officers for critical crime fighting tasks. In the relevant work that is happening here, it also includes $3.4 million to procure and maintain crime fighting technology, $13 million to increase MPD's crime fighting capabilities by quadrupling the number of CCTV cameras that we have around the city. And it will allow us to replace license plate readers. Those readers are a powerful tool for identifying vehicles involved in crimes, tracking down stolen vehicles, and locating suspects. The budget also includes $4.6 million to fund immediate provisions that the council passed in Secure DC, including $2.3 million to expand safe commercial corridors and private security cameras incentives, which we're talking about today, $1.8 million to support the implementation of Secure DC changes to pretrial detention, $322,000 to increase private security camera incentives, additional $160,000 to the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council to stand up a new diversion task force, and the vast majority, of course, of Secure DC provisions requiring no additional funding. So in terms of funding for cameras, we know that video plays a key role in investigating cases and successfully prosecuting individuals. And with this budget, we will be able to add 200 CCTV cameras in fiscal 25 and an additional 400 over the next 3 years. And we've been focused for many years now on how we expand our network of cameras. I launched in 2016 the private security camera program. And I couldn't believe this number when my staff briefed me on it. And since then, we have launched 28,000 of those private security cameras supported by a rebate from the DC government. And today we are launching a follow-up to the incentive program that will directly support the Real-Time Crime Center. CameraConnect DC is a new program operated by MPD that will more effectively and efficiently allow residents and businesses to share video with MPD. And whether you used our rebate program or not, or you purchased a camera on your own, you will be able to register your camera with CameraConnect DC. And I also want to acknowledge and thank Mark Ine for his second time, I believe, stepping up with MPD, with your second chief, to help us with some of the technology, and that your company works with a lot of local businesses with cameras. So now I'm going to turn it over to Chief Smith to tell us more about CameraConnect DC and why it's so important for our community to be a part of the solution. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good morning, everyone. I'm Chief Pamela Smith, the Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department here in Washington, D.C. I'm joined today, obviously, by our mayor, who's one of the biggest supporters when it comes to public safety here in the District of Columbia, as well as Deputy Mayor Lindsay Apia of our Public Safety and Justice cluster, who oversees that cluster, but more importantly, who has certainly been a strong partner. I also want to acknowledge Councilmember Pinto, who has certainly been a pleasure to work with since I've been in this space, and Mark Ein, who I met at a tennis match early on in my career here with MPD, and certainly appreciate your continued support of the Metropolitan Police Department. Let me begin, of course, by thanking Mayor Bowser for her strong support for public safety reflected in the district's 2025 budget. The mayor's FY25 budget will help MPD to fight crime through important investments in two key areas: people as well as crime-fighting technology. And the technology the mayor invests in is making MPD will have a direct impact on our real-time crime center. The RTCC is more than just people sitting in a room. It is the new epicenter of how MPD responds to crime and investigates cases. I also want to acknowledge the partners that stand behind me today. We have been working together collectively for many years. This is just an opportunity for us to come together in one space in order to really fight crime in the district. Since mid-February, MPD personnel have been working around the clock getting this center ready, fine-tuning the state-of-the-art technology and equipment, developing best practices for every task, and making sure we have the right team in place. We've done it with one goal in mind: making our community safer, and I want to thank them publicly. These investigators were able to dig deeper into crimes in real time, relaying key information and lookouts from CCTV cameras to officers on the ground. They did that just on Friday night, contributing to 2 arrests. Within minutes of getting a 911 call for a robbery in progress near the corner of Georgia and New Hampshire Avenue, the RTCC was able to provide responding 4th District officers with a description and images of 2 suspects. Officers searched the area and quickly placed both suspects into custody. And on Thursday afternoon, the RTCC was instrumental when 14-year-old Avion Evans was shot and killed on the Brooklyn Metro platform. They worked to relay information between agencies, get the information regarding the suspect out in just 30 minutes after the shooting. The RTCC pushed photos of the suspect out to the entire police department, and in less than 15 minutes later, the RTCC worked with our communications team to get the picture of the suspect out to the public. To be able to do this in the very moment is a breakthrough. Video is one of the most important tools to help our officers and detectives close a case. Videos continue to play a key role in identifying a suspect, but also ensuring the criminal justice ecosystem holds these suspects accountable. Since Mayor Bowser nominated me to lead the men and women of the MPD, I've prioritized getting out into the community and meeting people in the neighborhoods and businesses and across our city. And I'm often asked the same question: how can I help? Today, we have a new way for you to help by providing our real-time crime center with video. The Metropolitan Police Department is launching CameraConnect DC, our new community camera sharing program, which gives residents, businesses, owners, and institutions a way to help us solve crime in your neighborhood. And by solving crime, we can help stop crime. There are 2 ways to get involved with this effort. First, by registering your camera system. If you have a doorbell camera or a private CCTV system at your home or business, we're asking you to go online and register it. There is no cost to register your cameras. This platform allows residents, businesses, and anyone with a security camera anywhere in the district to register their existing cameras. When a crime occurs, our real-time crime center team will be able to send you an alert that asks you to review your video and upload the footage so we can quickly get ahead of those who want to cause harm in our neighborhoods. I want to make it clear, by simply registering your camera, in no way are you giving MPD live access to your camera footage. What it does is help us to identify potential sources of video evidence around a possible crime and create a way for us to quickly communicate with you and ask for the video. You choose what you want to upload. If you already have cameras previously registered with MPD, you'll get an email shortly asking you to confirm your information. There's nothing else you'll need to do. For businesses, apartment complexes, and commercial facilities, we can take a step further by integrating your cameras with MPD. By leveraging state-of-the-art technology, you can integrate and make your camera system available for instant access should a threat or incident occur near your locations. Cameras across the city will be a force multiplier for public safety, allowing us to provide real-time information to responding officers. That is a very powerful crime-fighting tool. What we know is that video footage helps the Metropolitan Police Department officers quickly and effectively solve cases. It also serves as a strong department and a deterrent for those intending to commit crimes. We are already making great strides in crime reductions. Compared to this same time last year, violent crime is down in double digits in nearly every category. It is a testament of the work that our officers do day in and day out. The facility that you're standing in today is going to better equip us, the Metropolitan Police Department, to fight crime in the city. But we need your help. And so we're asking the community to please go to mpddc.dc.gov/CameraConnect DC to learn more about how you can be a part of making our community safer. Let me repeat that because you know all this talking sometimes get to be tongue-tied. mpddc.dc.gov/CameraConnect DC. This new facility represents our commitment to innovating and how we respond to events and how we keep our people safe. I want to again thank Mayor Bowser for her support, and I will turn it back over to her right now.
Thank you, and let me introduce our council member, Brooke Pinto.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mayor, and thank you, Chief Smith and Mr. Ein and all of our wonderful partners here. I'm just thrilled to be here today to celebrate these improvements. I think it's really impressive what Chief Smith and Mayor Bowser have focused on when it comes to public safety is both a doubling down in what we know works and a looking outside the box to new strategies. And that's really what today is all about, and thinking how we can utilize technology, how we can utilize the involvement of the public and the collection of so many of our public safety partners in sharing and collecting this information real time so that we can stop crime and prevent crime, which is ultimately the goal. So I'm thrilled to be here and be a continued partner in this important work, and congratulations on the huge effort that went into opening today's real-time crime center. And I remain hopeful and optimistic that interventions like this will continue to help district residents be safer and more secure. And I love what Ralph said about peace, because ultimately that's really all this is about, is that every resident in DC, every business, every visitor deserves peace when they're here. And that's what we're going to continue fighting to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I would like to invite up Mark Ein, who wants to talk about cameras. Mark.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Mayor Bowser, Chief Smith, Deputy Mayor Apia, and Councilmember Pinto for your leadership and commitment to keeping people in our city safe. What I'm going to talk about is a reinforcement of a number of the themes that you've heard today. Keeping people in our city safe is incumbent on all of us. It takes the public sector and private sector working together. It takes technology, and video is the most impactful tool I think we can use in terms of technology. We actually, as the mayor mentioned, in 2015 we created Capitol Shield, let's now call it 1.0, where we offered cameras to people who would install them on exterior of buildings and connect them to the police department. As a result of that, we had 791 cameras installed. Roughly half of them were cameras we gave to people. The other half were cameras that were already on buildings that then were integrated into police. And half of those were people who weren't even Castle customers. For those of you who don't know, Castle secures probably more buildings than anyone in Washington outside the federal government. We have the largest set of video cameras. So when you talk about enabling video in the key locations, we're sort of a great source of leverage to get a lot of the most vital cameras online at once. And so we did that. We're really proud of what happened in Capitol Shield 1.0. And what it lets, this is both after an event, you can go into any of these cameras and look, and it has high-speed search capabilities. But as Chief Smith said, this is also in real time. In the event of an emergency, there'll be a dot on that screen, and they can tunnel in when something's happening in the event of emergency and see what's going on. A few months ago, with the launch of this center, the mayor, the chief, the deputy mayor, everyone called and said we need Capitol Shield 2.0. We need to bring the private sector together again. Let's do another surge. And so we've been out talking to our customers. In just the last 2 months, we've got 212 cameras committed, 200 in the pipeline, another 200 coming, and we've just started. I do want to thank, because really I'm sitting here on behalf of a large number of companies who've made this commitment from the beginning: Ackridge, Hoffman, Tower Companies, Tishman Speyer, and JBG Smith supported this, and just in the last couple months, Red Brick and Bizzuto have stepped up, and we hope many more do. So today we're announcing not just the integration of this entire network into the new real-time crime center, the push for more, but a commitment to another 1,000 cameras that we'll give to any business, any building who wants it installed, so that they can be part of this network, and we will do that for you. This is a really, really important initiative for our city. We really need to support the mayor, the chief, the council, and all of us to come together. And I'm really grateful for everyone's focus on this issue, and we're here to do anything we can. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you. Thank you. Chief, you want to introduce the demo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The partnership could not be much stronger, and I'm certainly privileged to be able to have the opportunity to work alongside you and many others. And so what I want to do is introduce our Fuses partners. Fuses is really the technology piece that's behind all of the moving parts when it comes to how we will move resources across the District of Columbia in order to fight crime. And I'll turn it over to our partner in this space and allow him to introduce himself and then provide you all with a short demonstration of what it will look like.
Please. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Lindenau. I'm the CEO and founder of Fuses, and I want to thank first the mayor and the chief, your staff, the council representatives here, and all of you brave women and men of the Metropolitan Police Department for this opportunity to partner with you and to talk with you all today about what we've built together. So the first thing is, as the mayor rightly pointed out, there's sizable investments in cameras going into the city as we speak. First order of business is to make sure all of those are populated onto this map. So you can see over here on my right, we've got a number of cameras already into the system. Sean, if you'll scroll in a little bit, you'll see these icons like this one here, where you've got 2 cameras already populated at that location. Now in this case, those are city-owned assets. Shortly, those will also be contributed assets from members of the community like yourself. In addition to that, you can see a number of triangles around the city. Now the yellow denotes a medium threshold call for service. So for the rest of us, that means basically a 911 call. Red would be a high priority call for service. We're layering in addition to that, gunshot detection systems, license plate reader systems. So as we actually look at the bottom of this map, this is the Fusus One interface. This is kind of the operating system, if you will, that the Real-Time Crime Center operates on. And as we click between the different tabs, you can see that we can jump to different locations almost immediately. And that allows the investigators, the analysts here in the Real-Time Crime Center to really understand and ascertain what's going on in real time. If you drop down at the bottom of the screen, there's an active call. So we can actually blow out in even further detail the actual calls for service as they're unfolding. Now, Sean, if you'll jump to another tab for me, please. In addition to all of the, we'll call it camera information and all of the location awareness that goes with that, is we also have some pretty intuitive dashboards. So even if this is your first time as an operator utilizing the system, you can very quickly ascertain, for example, a green is a active camera, a red would be a down camera, and you can see Sean's actively interacting with that neural network as we speak. Our goal as a team, our partnership here, which represents not just Fusus and representatives from MPD, but all of you, is to take essentially this topology and grow it further. The other thing I'll share with you is that this is an active effort with other agencies in and around the metropolitan area. So it's not just the Metropolitan Police Department that's making this investment, it's all of the outlying departments in the area. This concept of a rising tide that lifts all boats, so now they can also share and collaborate in the system in real time. And as you can see, the city has already made a massive investment in what we called registered cameras. And this was, as the chief was pointing out earlier, those members of the community who are simply saying, my name is Chris Lindenau, here's my email address, here's my phone number, and I have 3 cameras. Should an investigator investigate in and around my business, they can reach out to me in a very efficient fashion, and then I can upload that information in real time. So I'll pause there. This is probably the fastest presentation I've ever given, but I'll stop there and turn it back over to the team from the Metropolitan Police Department.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Thank you very much. So we're going to take, why don't we cut the ribbon? Where's the ribbon? Let's cut the ribbon, and we'll be able to take a few questions, and you'll be able to tour the room.
Yeah, so the question is how many other agencies in and around the area? So it's a two-part answer. There are probably about a dozen in the area, the local area, that could potentially connect up to the Metropolitan Police Department. The second point of that is just like the registry is a volunteer program, it's also a volunteer program for agencies to collaborate with others. And I know that we're actively working through some of the MOUs on
Absolutely.
that.
Let me ask the deputy mayor, the chief, to talk about partnerships.
Well, I'll talk about the law enforcement partnership. As you see, a number of law enforcement agencies, both federal and local agencies, have joined. We have all come together as law enforcement partners to really address crime. As you all know, that there are no jurisdictional boundaries when it comes to when suspects leaves one area and go to the next. And I think collectively, as a law enforcement cohort, we thought it would be really nice for us to all come together in this space. As you know, whenever we have special events or large-scale details or events here in the district, the partners come together in HCMA as well as our Joint Operation Command Center. This is an opportunity for us to really address crime, boots on the ground, 24 hours a day and 7 days a week.
David Kaplan with Fox 5. This question's for Chief Smith. I was just wondering, can you just elaborate a little bit more about the example with the Brookland Metro shooting? What would have happened 6 months ago with regards to how you all would have handled this and informed the public with the picture? And what was different now
In comparison to then?
Just to clarify what's different, what's new.
And I think what's different is that the expediency of getting the photo out, getting the information out to the public. We were able to obtain the video footage. The detectives and investigators in this space were also able to upload those images and get it out to the public rather quickly. What I will say in particular about that incident, we are certainly grateful and thankful for the many community members who have been reaching out. We are not there yet, but we're close with respect to this particular case. And because of the fact that we have the members in this space that are really pushing the effort out quickly, it helps us to get the information out to the public. What would have happened prior to this is that it would have taken us a significant amount of time to sift through all of the video. The detectives initially go to the scene, then gather the information. We now have folks in this space who can do that simultaneously.
What does a full complement of staff look like here in this facility? How many civilian workers? How many sworn officers, and does that impact the officers that you have on the street?
That does not impact the officers that we have on the street. I think we answered that question when we first initially talked about the Real-Time Crime Center. There are detectives that we're just putting in this space. I won't talk about numbers because we don't really like to talk about numbers, but we will have a nice complement both in day work as well as at night. And then we'll also be inclusive of some of our partners. So we do have a robust number of personnel that's assigned to this particular area.
Hey, yeah, Matt Delaney with the Washington Times. Last month it was mentioned the crime center was missing a key piece of equipment. Just wondering what that piece of equipment was.
Well, I am not a technologist, but it's something that is a backup piece of equipment, and that we're still waiting for it, but we can operate without it. And unfortunately, the supply chain has been complicated by recent events, but we are hopeful that it comes.
It's a shipping issue. It's not like you guys got a version of it before and it malfunctioned or anything.
No, it hasn't arrived yet, and it is shipping. It is en route, but I'm told that they're rerouting to get it here as soon as possible. Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm wondering if you can update us on Beltway, as part of the Beltway closed right now near Pennsylvania Avenue.
I have no information on that whatsoever. I've been here since I think 10 o'clock this morning, so I don't have any information on that.
Chief Smith, could we ask for an update on the body-worn camera video from the officer involved shooting last week? And have you reviewed the video from the court documents? It seems like the suspect was running away from officers being shot.
Mark, we haven't. I haven't reviewed the video yet, and I'm expected to before tomorrow.
When will it be released?
I haven't reviewed it yet.
We're close to the 5 days.
Well, we're not at 5 days, so
But it will be. I mean, have you talked to I know the victim gets the choice, right?
yes. So all of that, the process that happens is that the police begin their investigation, the body worn camera is reviewed, all of the necessary contacts are made, and it's all done within the statutory time frame, which is tomorrow. Yes.
Mayor Rebecca with 7 News. As it relates to safety, what's your vision for how Safe Passage is going to operate under your new budget? And are there any plans to add that program to Brooklyn Middle, where there was a teen shot and killed not far from there after school was let out?
Let me ask the deputy mayor to speak to that.
Sure. So we're really grateful that in the mayor's FY25 budget, there is an expansion of Safe Passage, and there's also a move for the One's Leadership Academy to come into my office, the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Public Safety and Justice, in order to give us greater impact. How we determine what schools are covered by Safe Passage really is by data. So we look at incident data, both from schools and also MPD data. And so we'll certainly look at what's happening in and around Brooklyn Metro. But I would say this, that all of the partners that you see here, including Metro Transit, we consider are part of our network, whether a part of our direct Safe Passage program or not. We have daily calls with our law enforcement partners. You hear us talk a lot about force multipliers, and so Safe Passage is one part of that. But certainly we know, Metro Transit is a partner in keeping the metro, including the platform, safe. And so we'll do that evaluation as we kind of get into our process of what schools will come online next year.
Peter Herman from the Washington Post. What is the exact role of the outside agencies here? Have any linked up any cameras from Prince George's or Alexandria or any of the other suburbs to here, or are they able to watch video in their offices from here?
Well, I'm going to ask the chief to respond to it, but when we were here, I believe it was the last time, the chief has embarked on kind of a multi-step process, and the first process was to get buy-in from our regional agencies, and I think there are various commitments across those agencies.
And thank you, Peter, for the question. And it will be, if they choose to integrate cameras here, we're certainly, it's a voluntary thing, but right now they will be in the seat. They will help us and I'll use for an example, if there's a vehicle pursuit, right, coming out of Prince George's County, they will have someone in the seat letting us know that that person's coming in, entering the jurisdiction of the District of Columbia. We will have our resources available, and vice versa, not just Prince George's County, but Arlington County, Montgomery County, and all of the jurisdictions around.
Right now, you can't look at a video in Prince George's County.
I cannot.
Can they look at a video from DC at this point?
I don't think so. Yep. But having them in the seat in real time will help us to be able to collaborate when we have major incidents or situations that are occurring. Let me get through this process first. How about that, Peter? I like your thought process, but allow us to get through what we need to do right now at this point. I mean, I'm not far-fetched from thinking about that, but I think right now we want to make sure that we have what we need and broaden that out a little bit. Thank you so much.
Chief, I do have another question for you. Two-parter, but related. If you have an update at all to the shooting that occurred on MLK Junior Avenue in Southwest yesterday, where the 4 people were shot, 3 men, 1 woman.
So can I answer that first?
Yes, please.
Because, a lot of questions. So our investigators, our detectives are still investigating that incident. What we do know is that there was 1 person who was arrested. And I want to again thank the community. The community in that area did a fabulous job with giving us tips, with giving us information. We were not aware of the fact that there was a vigil going on in that space, but once we did, we were made aware. We initially got our officers over there immediately. And still there's a lot of work that we need to do around that.
You mentioned the community, because we did have, and I'm glad you received tips from the community. We did have a reporter there earlier today who said that lots of folks expressed fear of even talking, didn't want to feel or appear to be a snitch of any sort.
Absolutely.
How do you convince folks in neighborhoods like that, where there is real fear, to put a camera on their property, probably in neighborhoods that need it most?
Well, in that particular case, there was an apartment building, right? And so our ask will be for some of those property managers to give us accessibilities to their forward-facing or outward-facing cameras. When we talk about individuals in particular, this is a safe way for them to do that by connecting with integrating with our camera system, with CameraConnect DC, in order for us to be able to reach out to them kind of privately, and then they can send us a video clip of that particular incident, and we'll be able to respond to it accordingly. And that is another safer way for them not to feel as though that they're snitching on someone publicly. And it also keeps my officers safe too, right, from knocking on doors, because we do a lot of door knocks now. Whenever there's an incident that occurs, we send the officers out, they knock on doors to get information. This is a safer way to do that, not just for our officers, but for the community members.
Okay, last two. All right, let's take a tour. Thank you.